favorite twin OBGYNs from right here in Chicago, and they're back to play a little fact or fiction. Let's hear it for Dr. J and Dr. I. Hi, you guys.
How are you?
It's our first time seeing you, so we can say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Right.
Everybody else.
All right, let's get into it. Number one, if you're having trouble getting aroused, slip on socks. Warmer feet equals faster pleasure. This sounds so crazy that I feel like it could be fact.
I'm gonna say, well, is it because the feet size determines other kinds of stuff?
No.
Okay.
So you're off, but it is fact. It is fact. Yes. So and it's actually really interesting. So they did this study, and about 80% of women said that they have a hard time having an orgasm just with normal sex. However, they did research that found that if you wear socks while having sex, you increase the likelihood, for women at least, that you'll have an orgasm by 60%.
Wow.
Yes.
You know, every guy right now is buying socks for Valentine's Day.
I know.
Honey, I got you socks for Valentine's Day.
Hey, if you're gonna come up short, get her some socks, you know?
Listen, he shouldn't be buying her socks. He should be trying to fix something else.
Look,
that's part of the
too much
plan.
work, just get the socks. Get
Oh,
the socks.
lazy.
But this is what happens. So when your feet are warm, you get more blood flow from the heart to the feet. And that, if blood is going from the heart to the feet, it's got to pass the nether regions. So more blood flow to the nether regions means more orgasms. And it stimulates parts of your brain that make you perceive things as being more pleasurable. Wow. And so wearing socks increases the likelihood of orgasm by 60%.
What about and this is off topic just a little bit, and I won't take long. What about a full bladder?
So full bladder actually, so full bladder could actually make it harder for people to become aroused and have an orgasm, while the bladder and the vagina and the cervix are all in that same area. You're having more blood flow to your bladder when your bladder's full, and so it actually makes it harder. Plus, just that sensation kind of interferes with the activity for some people. So definitely empty your bladder, and you have a high risk of UTI too. So empty your bladder before.
Yeah. See, I thought the way the bladder was positioned and the fullness of it on some other organs down there that would increase your chances of getting an orgasm.
Well, it could do that, but the same nerves that go to the bladder go to the vagina and the uterus as well, and so the brain gets confused after a while. It's getting so many signals.
I think try a full bladder.
Okay, there you go. Socks and a full bladder. There you go.
A full bladder. Not too full to where it's uncomfortable. Not too full to where it's uncomfortable, but drink some water before. Trust me.
Dr. Val, there you
Trust
go.
the doctors.
I am really confused now. Okay, here, I'm gonna go to the next one. The tongue is the strongest muscle in the body. Now, isn't it it's the biggest muscle, right? Is it the biggest? No, the skin. No.
It's not the biggest, unless you're Gene Simmons. But I'm going to say it's fact.
So it is actually fiction. So the tongue, technically, this is why. The tongue is not a muscle, it's 8 different muscles. So it would kind of be cheating if it says it's the strongest muscle. But most people actually say the heart. But the heart is the one that does the most work. The strongest muscle is kind of close. It's the masseter, it's the jaw muscle. And they've actually shown that in some people, you can chew up to 950 pounds worth of strength. So the jaw muscle is actually the strongest muscle in the body. So close, but not quite.
Nice.
Well, I knew it wasn't the tongue. I thought it was the thigh muscle.
Any tips about the tongue you want to ask us? You had bladder.
I know.
You had bladder tips.
I do. I was thinking it was the thigh muscle, and I was going to say you can use those muscles for number 1.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, number 3. The position you sleep in while, you'll get it later. The position you sleep in while pregnant increases your risk of stillbirth.
Ooh.
I'm going to say this is fiction.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I slept in every position, and
It's actually fact. It's fact.
It is fact?
It's fact.
Oh,
Yeah. So
let me know.
there was
Sorry.
a study. There was a study that came out of England that found that women during the 3rd trimester, if they lie flat on their back, they have an increased risk of stillbirth by 2 to 3 times higher risk. And the reason is 3rd trimester, you've got a heavy baby, big placenta, lots of amniotic fluid, and just a lot of blood flow. And so the uterus is about 10 pounds. And when you're lying flat, it's lying on those blood vessels that go from the heart to the uterus, and so it decreases blood supply to the uterus. And so we normally tell women lie on your left side. That kind of displaces the uterus over a little bit. It's not pressing on those vessels. You get more blood flow.
Why left and not right?
Well, because those blood vessels are deviated a bit to the right. So if you lie on the left side, you're moving the uterus away from those blood vessels.
Generally, these are people that maybe have other issues going on anyway. So in a totally healthy woman, totally healthy pregnancy, probably okay if you lay on your back. But if you think about it, lay on your left side. But if you have other issues, then yeah, it could be enough to kind of tip you over the edge.
I'm just guessing you just can't ever sleep on your stomach, though.
Yeah.
unless you have one of those beds like they have at the spas where the hole is out.
Okay, all right. Well, here's the next one. Women crave chocolate in the days leading up to their period because they're deficient in certain nutrients at that time.
I'm going to say it's an excuse to say
The
facts.
women are saying fact.
I'm gonna say fact.
And it's fiction. But this is the deal.
What'd you say,
So,
fact?
no, but check this out. Well, hold on. Now check this out. So women do crave chocolate during their cycles, but it's not because they're deficient in any nutrients. Basically, what happens is chocolate is a form of self-medication, truly, and I'm going to tell you why. So so basically, your estrogen and progesterone levels fluctuate. That causes serotonin, which is this feel-good brain hormone level. The levels of that fall as well, and so that makes you feel more irritable, makes you feel more fatigued, and so eating chocolate increases serotonin levels. And so women tend to crave chocolate because it boosts their serotonin levels and gets rid of a lot of those menstrual symptoms. Also increases the risk of, or the release of endorphins, so you have less cramping, less bloating, less breast soreness.
You feel happier.
So eating chocolate makes you feel a lot better during your
Any
cycle.
kind of chocolate, dark chocolate,
Dark chocolate
white
is better, but any chocolate.
Any
chocolate.
Any
Yeah.
chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's medicine for your menses, yeah.
All right. Here we go. Expectant fathers can suffer from the same pregnancy symptoms as their expectant female partners. You know, I'm going to say fact.
Ryan is right. That is actually a fact. That is a fact.
I don't know why, but I just had to stick up for my fellow men.
It just felt right. You're going with it. So it's something called Kuvad syndrome, actually. And so what happens is you can have some of the emotional symptoms. So you can have like the nausea, the vomiting, the fatigue, the irritability. But you can actually have physical symptoms as well. Some men will have like bloating of the belly. They'll have constipation. They'll actually even have like breast or chest enlargement. And so the reason is that, so they think it's partially anxiety related. They think it's also partially stress related. When you have stress, your testosterone levels go down a bit. And when your testosterone levels go down, your estrogen relatively goes up. And so that's why they can have some of those physical symptoms as well. It's not common, but it does happen.
I thought it was just because the husbands were trying to like eat with the wife, like eat a lot of food.
That probably plays a part too, but you can actually have it based on like, there's actually a biological basis, but yeah, they're probably overeating too.
Okay, all right. Here's our last one. This is actually a viewer question. How is it that when a woman is in her third trimester, she could get heart failure around 5 to 6 months after she gives birth? In 2009, I experienced heart failure due to having a baby just within 6 months. I had to get a pacemaker, so please can you all tell me the answer? Thank you. This is from Siobhan.
So this is actually something called peripartum cardiomyopathy. Thankfully, it's not that common. Less than 0.1% of women have it, but it does happen. It's more common in African American women, in older moms, people that are obese, hypertensive, have heart problems. And what basically happens is, and we don't know why it happens, but the heart stops functioning normally, so you're not pumping the blood as well. And so what I tell all of my patients, and it can happen anytime during the pregnancy, but usually during the third trimester, but it can also happen in the first 6 months after delivery. And I actually had a patient recently where this happened to her. So I tell people, if you notice that you're having extreme swelling in your legs, if you're feeling short of breath, especially when you lie flat, if you feel like this drowning sensation, tell your doctor right away, because peripartum cardiomyopathy can actually be fatal if it's not treated
One of the
properly.
leading causes of death.
Yeah. So
in pregnant and postpartum women.
So it's not common, but it absolutely does happen. So it's something to keep an eye out for.
Oh,
Absolutely.
wow, interesting. Okay. Now, also, when everything gets legalized, are you going to start writing medical marijuana cards for like
I already am, G. I already am. Text me.
Like that would help with PMS too.
It actually would. It does.
Okay.
You know what? We'll go into business together.
Okay.
But wait, what if you're nursing?
That's a tough one. There's some studies that say it's
Yeah.
okay, some studies that say it's not. So we tell people not to, but there was a study in Jamaica, oddly enough.
Jamaica.
Oddly enough, they said that it was okay. So, you know, but they've got a stake in that one, I think.
Well, you know, I'm going back soon, so I'll be the judge of that. All right.